So this project was done in Blender and D5, which is basically the softwares that I'll be using in this channel. I actually know a few more softwares for architecture, but I just think D5 and Blender are kind of the easiest and quickest way to get a decent output, especially for content like this. There's actually a shorts version for this build, and interestingly, in that video, I mentioned that, this thing that I'm building was an actual project, which isn't really accurate. It is not really accurate. I mean, that event really did happen, but the thing that you're seeing in the videos aren't exactly what was used in the project, right? Like, I actually remade and altered parts of the original work because I wasn't so sure about the project's confidentiality. And just to be honest, I just really felt like I could have done way better. Like, the timeline for this was super short. This was basically for a conceptual competition for some complex, and it was super rushed. Like, we came in late and we just had to come up with anything as fast as we could and just throw it out there. And again, I wasn't so sure about the confidentiality and was too lazy to ask for permission. This is going to happen in a lot of my videos where I alter things in the actual work because, the work itself is already hard enough. I just don't want to have to worry about permissions and whatnot every time I upload. Plus, I'm also going to be adding these to my public portfolio. And the thing about actual projects is that you usually can't get to like the 100% of your capabilities because there's always a lot of constraints, right? Like, there's time constraints, budget constraints, there's client constraints. All the more reason to redo and polish it. The theme for this that we thought about was actually psychedelic, and that's kind of the reason for the color. Now, I know it doesn't really look much. Again, this is one of the builds that wasn't really well thought out because of the lack of time, and I'm really thinking about doing an entirely separate build about the same thing because psychedelic, I think, is a really cool idea, and this is just not doing it any justice. I could do like maybe a mushroom building with, patterns and swirling forms and whatever. By the way, this channel is about 3D architecture where I'll be building stuff every week and just babble about what's going on. So if you're up for that, subscribe. Now, there were supposed to be bars and function halls at the perimeter of this complex, but I replaced them because I thought they looked boring. I replaced them with these curved buildings, which turned out in the final output wasn't that much notice, so there goes the wasted effort. And also, these swirling steps in the site also wasn't in the original. I just thought they'd look more interesting, which is also one of the things that I regret doing. This literally took me an entire day to finish, and I don't know, it doesn't look that convincing. So this is one of the projects where I promised not to overdo things, but still ended up overdoing it. Like, even right before making the actual thing, I kind of swore to myself that I wouldn't change things that much and overcomplicate it because the purpose of this was just for an early video for the channel. It's just not wise to overinvest in that stage. So I told myself that, and I don't know what happened, man. Last thing I remember, I was swearing the oath to myself to not overdo it, and that's pretty much the last thing that I remember. That's usually the problem when I'm working on personal projects, is that I'd always end up over preparing and overdoing a lot of irrelevant stuff, which, by the way, stupid enough, is the actual theme of that shorts that I was talking about, right? Like, in that video, I was like, don't overdo things and don't be a perfectionist because that will cause you to procrastinate. I don't know, man. Like, there's just something about personal work that causes me to sort of become paralyzed, though client work usually goes fine for the most part. And so this altered version of the project took me about an entire week to finish, and the reason why I stopped and considered it finished was not even because I was happy with the output, but because the computer started crashing. Like, the file was getting too heavy, and had it not been that way, I would have kept going. That was also the reason why I wasn't able to record everything in OBS. Ideally, when working with these types of projects, you would have a separate file for each couple of scenes so that the file doesn't get heavy, but again, I was expecting it to not be that complicated. I put everything in one file because I didn't think everything would be that detailed and heavy, so it started crashing. And the actual project happened a couple of years ago. It took me a couple of days to finish. It was kind of an all-nighter, and my friends were actually happy with the output, even though we didn't win. We weren't really expecting to anyway. If you made it this far, please leave a like. I will read all the comments, and maybe I'll reply to you in another video. I'll also leave my email in the description if you want to message me. I'm open for 3D works.